imagine, just for a moment, leaving the ground behind, rising slowly, until the noise of the world fades into silence and the earth begins to open like an ancient book, written in colors, shapes, and mysteries. From above, everything changes, borders disappear, the lines of the map lose their meaning, and the planet reveals what is almost never seen when we remain at ground level. Seen from above, Africa is not just a continent. It is a living organism. Mountains carve the horizon like scars of time. Rivers trace paths that have sustained life for millennia. Deserts breathe heat and silence, while lakes reflect the sky like forgotten mirrors. Here, every landscape carries a story, and many of them have never been fully told. But what truly impresses is not geography alone. It is the people. Communities that live in harmony with the land, the climate, the natural cycles. People who do not seek to dominate nature, but learn to listen to its signs. Where time is not measured by clocks, but by the movement of the waters, the arrival of the rains, the flight of birds. This is not an ordinary journey. It is a dive into origins, an encounter with places where the past still speaks to the present, and where life continues to pulse in the same rhythm it always has. And if you feel this calling, to experience the world with greater depth, curiosity, and respect, subscribe to the channel and leave a like. This simple gesture keeps this journey alive and allows us to continue exploring stories, landscapes, and cultures that deserve to be felt, not just seen. Because in the end, the world does not reveal itself to those who rush through it. It gives itself to those who look with soul. And that is how we move forward, together, discovering the wonders of the world. The Omo River cuts through southern Ethiopia like an ancient vein that still pulses freely, guided only by the laws of nature. Its waters wind through open plains, wetlands, and semi-arid regions, creating a cycle of life that has repeated itself for thousands of years. Here, the river has not been domesticated, dammed, or silenced. It continues to flow at the same rhythm that has shaped landscapes, animals, and human beings since the very beginning. Along the banks of the Omo, live peoples such as the Mursi, Hamar, Karo, and Dasanek, communities whose ways of life are deeply tied to the river. They do not use written calendars or clocks, but observe the behavior of floods, birds, and the sky to decide when to plant, harvest, or move. The river is road, sustenance, timekeeper, and spirit. Every body painting, every ritual, every rite of passage is born from a direct relationship with the water. Among these tribes, there is an ancient legend that says the Omo River was born from the Earth's first breath, when the world was still learning how to breathe. The elders believe that as long as its waters remain free, the memory of the first humans will never disappear. But if the river is ever interrupted, humanity will forget its own origins. And so they say, the Omo does not flow merely to follow its course. It flows to remind us of who we are. The Saf Omar caves lie hidden beneath the soil of southeastern Ethiopia, like a world apart, slowly carved by water over millions of years. From above, the landscape is arid and silent, but beneath the surface exists a living labyrinth of tunnels, chambers, and dark passageways. A subterranean river runs through the heart of the cave, dividing the space like an invisible boundary between the known and the unknown. Inside, natural pillars rise like the columns of an ancient temple. Vaulted ceilings seem to bear the weight of the earth, and the uneven ground creates multiple levels that disrupt any sense of direction. There is no natural light. Every step depends on artificial illumination. And even then, much of the system remains only partially mapped. Saf Omar never fully reveals itself. It keeps its own secrets. For local communities, the cave has never been just a geological formation. According to ancient beliefs, Saf Omar is a sacred place where spirits dwell deep within the earth. One legend tells of giant marks that once appeared in the muddy ground, like footprints left by something that does not belong to the surface world. They emerged and vanished without explanation, reinforcing the belief that this is not merely stone and water. It is a space where the unseen still walks. The Danakil Depression is one of the most extreme places on the planet, a territory where the Earth seems to still be under construction. The ground splits into fissures, releases gases, shifts color throughout the day, and reveals minerals in intense shades of yellow, green, and red. Here, the heat is constant, the air is dense, and the horizon seems to vibrate, as if the ground itself were alive. This is not a common landscape. It is the boundary between what we know and what is still taking shape. At the heart of this landscape lives the Afar people, who for centuries have inhabited a place many believe to be impossible for human life. They do not see Danakil as a threat, but as ancestral land, shaped by fire and salt. Caravans cross the plains, cutting blocks of salt by hand, repeating a cycle of labor that has changed little since prehistoric times. Here, tradition is not memory, it is daily survival. Among the Afar, there is a belief that Danakil is the place where the earth breathes closest to the surface. They say each fissure is an ancient mouth, and every mineral lake is a mirror of the world's spirit. According to legend, as long as the Afar people continue to walk this land without trying to dominate it, the earth will maintain its balance. And so, in Danakil, living is not about defying nature, it is about accepting a silent pact with it. Mount Kilimanjaro, located in Tanzania, rises alone above the plains of eastern Africa like a silent giant. At nearly 6,000 meters high, it is the tallest mountain on the continent and one of the most striking on the planet. From its hot, dry base to its ice-covered summit, Kilimanjaro brings together savanna, tropical forest, alpine meadows, and glacial landscapes within a single body of stone. It is as if multiple worlds coexist, stacked one upon another within a single mountain. One of the greatest curiosities of Mount Kilimanjaro is the contrast between its location near the equator and the presence of permanent snow at its summit. Its glaciers are remnants of a distant climatic past and serve as a living record of the planet's transformations. Formed by ancient volcanoes now dormant, the mountain quietly holds the deep forces that once shaped its colossal structure. One of the greatest curiosities of Mount Kilimanjaro is the contrast across the plains surrounding Mount Kilimanjaro live the Maasai, a people known for their deep connection to the land and to natural cycles. Traditional pastoralists, they move with the seasons guided by the climate, their cattle, and the open horizon. For the Maasai, the mountain is not just a landscape, it is a presence, a point of reference, and a living part of their ancestral land. According to an ancient African legend, the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro is the dwelling place of the spirits of the sky, a point where the earth touches the invisible world. They say the mountain cloaks itself in clouds to protect its secrets from those who climb without respect. For the elders, the ice at the summit is not merely cold, it is ancient wisdom, gathered over time, keeping the giant in eternal watch over the world. Le Morne Brabant Mountain, located in the Republic of Mauritius, rises at the southwestern edge of the island like a natural monument surrounded by the Indian Ocean. Seen from above, the peninsula appears as an isolated world, where steep cliffs plunge into turquoise blue waters and coral reefs trace almost unreal patterns. The contrast between dark rock, lush green vegetation, and the crystal clear sea transforms Le Morne into one of the most striking landscapes in the ocean. Beyond its natural grandeur, Le Morne holds a profound historical significance. During the colonial period, the mountain served as a refuge for enslaved people who had escaped, offering a final shelter against capture. Its steep slopes and hidden paths turned the site into a silent symbol of resistance, freedom, and survival, now recognized as a World Heritage Site. An ancient legend says that the spirits of those who sought freedom at Lemorne still inhabit the mountain. According to tradition, when clouds wrap around the summit and the wind blows in from the sea, it is they who walk the slopes once more, protecting the place. That is why many believe Lemorne is not just stone and height. It is living memory, a guardian of stories that the ocean has never been able to erase. The city of Harar, located in Ethiopia, emerges as a labyrinth of walls, narrow alleys, and ancient houses that seem to resist the passage of time. Surrounded by historic walls, Harar is considered one of the oldest cities on the continent to have been continuously inhabited. Its streets form an almost ritual-like maze, where every corner holds stories of trade, faith, and a cultural isolation preserved for centuries. But Harar is known for a rare relationship between humans and animals. As night falls, local residents feed wild hyenas outside the city walls in a ritual passed down through generations. There are no cages, no domination, only trust built over time. For many, this gesture helps maintain balance between the city and the natural world, preventing conflict and preserving a coexistence that is truly unique on the planet. According to an ancient local legend, hyenas are the spiritual guardians of Harar. They are said to see what humans cannot and to protect the city from invisible forces that roam through the night. When a hyena accepts food from a person's hand, it is believed to recognize the harmony of that place. That is why in Harar, fear has never overcome respect, and the city continues to be protected by eyes that shine in the dark. Lake Assal, located in Djibouti, is one of the most extreme and silent places on the African continent. Situated more than 150 meters below sea level, it lies among the lowest points on Earth. Its intensely salty waters reflect the sky like a white mirror, surrounded by vast salt fields, volcanic rock, and a heat that seems to suspend time itself. The salt concentration of Lake Assal is among the highest on the planet, surpassing even that of the Dead Sea. The lake has no natural outlet, and constant evaporation causes the salt to crystallize into thick layers, shaping an almost lunar landscape. The ground crackles beneath your feet, and the air carries minerals that transform the scenery into something that feels entirely otherworldly. According to an ancient legend from the region, Lake Assal was born from the Earth's tears when the world split apart in fire and stone. They say the salt is the solidified memory of that ancient suffering, and that the lake remains still to remind humans of the power that exists beneath their steps. That is why many believe Assal is not just salt water. It is the earth itself, watching in silence. In Nekhisar National Park, located in Ethiopia, elephants and zebras dominate the open areas between the lakes and the savanna plains. The elephants move slowly, in small groups, clearing paths through the vegetation. Meanwhile, zebras cross the plains in constant motion, forming living lines that stretch all the way to the horizon. The absence of fences allows these animals to follow ancient routes, shaped only by water, grazing land, and the seasons. In the more secluded areas of the park, big cats occupy the top of the food chain. Lions use taller vegetation as natural cover, silently observing the movement of their prey. Leopards remain almost invisible, hidden among trees and natural formations. These predators do not announce their presence. They are part of the silent balance that sustains the rhythm of wildlife in Nekhisar. Further ahead, giraffes walk with slow, elegant steps, reaching the treetops. Meanwhile, different species of antelopes and wildebeest move across the plains in scattered groups. These animals maintain the constant flow of the landscape, alternating between moments of movement and rest. In Nekhisar, each species occupies its place without haste, forming a living system that functions without interruption, exactly as it always has. The journey through the Drakensberg Mountains in South Africa begins with the sound of water. Rivers are born at high altitudes and plunge into long waterfalls, carving through stone cliffs before continuing into deep valleys. Seen from above, the water traces bright paths between the rocks, bringing movement and life to a landscape shaped by verticality and the profound silence of the mountains. As the river moves forward, the mountains rise around it like a natural wall. Jagged peaks, steep cliffs, and green slopes form a mountain system shaped by millions of years of erosion. Changes in altitude create rapid shifts in climate, with mist forming between the summits and disappearing as quickly as it appears. According to ancient beliefs of the Sand People, the first inhabitants of the region, the waterfalls of the Drakensberg, were sacred passages between the earth and the sky. They say the water carries messages from the spirits of the mountains, flowing downward to reach the world of humans. That is why, when mist wraps around the waterfalls, many believe it is not just vapor. It is the sky drawing closer to the earth to listen. Erta Ale, located in northeastern Ethiopia, rises from the arid landscape of the Danakil Depression as one of the most extreme places on Earth. It is an active shield volcano, famous for hosting a permanent lava lake, a rarity on the planet. Seen from above, its crater forms a perfect circle of fire, a glowing ring shining amid dark, fractured ground. The lava lake of Erta Ale has remained continuously active for decades, revealing the planet's interior in constant motion. Its incandescent surface breaks apart, closes, and reforms in hypnotic cycles, showing how the Earth's crust is still alive in this region. The intense heat, unstable ground, and released gases transform the environment into an almost primordial landscape where the Earth seems exposed from within. Among the peoples of the region, there is a belief that Erta Ale is the gateway to the world's fire. They say that here, the earth speaks through flames, reminding humans that everything that exists was born from heat and stone. According to legend, as long as the fire of Erta Ale remains visible, the planet will stay awake, watching, breathing, and slowly transforming beneath our feet. The city of Lalibela, located in northern Ethiopia, is home to one of the most extraordinary architectural complexes in the world. Carved directly from a single block of volcanic rock, its churches were not built upward, but excavated downward, revealed from within the mountain itself. Seen from above, the landscape appears to have been forcefully opened, as if the earth had been carefully removed to uncover something sacred hidden deep within its core. Each church is entirely monolithic, connected by carved passageways, tunnels, and courtyards, forming a subterranean complex that remains functional to this day. The most famous of them, shaped as a perfect cross, stands isolated at the center of a deep trench, without visible columns or foundations. The precision of the lines, the symmetry, and the scale of the work defy any simple explanation, especially considering the tools available at the time of its creation. According to Ethiopian tradition, Lalibela was built with divine help. They say that during the day, men worked on the rock, and at night, angels descended to continue the excavation, accelerating a task that seemed impossible. For the faithful, these churches are not merely historical monuments, but living spaces of prayer, where stone, faith, and time remain united in absolute silence. Tassili Najer, located in southeastern Algeria, stretches across the heart of the Sahara Desert as a vast stone plateau. Seen from above, the landscape feels like another planet. Wind-carved sandstone formations create columns, arches, canyons, and natural labyrinths that extend as far as the eye can see. The silence is absolute, broken only by the sensation of total isolation. Hidden among these rocks are thousands of cave paintings and rock engravings more than 10,000 years old. They reveal a Sahara that was once green, with rivers, wild animals, and human communities living where today there is only sand and stone. Tassili functions as an open archive of African memory, revealing profound climatic changes recorded directly on the rock walls. For ancient peoples, Tassili was not just a place of shelter, but a sacred site. According to local beliefs, the stone formations were solidified spirits, guardians of time. They say that those who cross the plateau in silence can feel the voices of the past echoing through the canyons, reminding us that Africa holds stories far older than any desert that exists today. Maletsunyan Falls, located in Lesotho, plunge from a sheer rock face in a single, direct drop of nearly 200 meters. Seen from above, the water seems to vanish into emptiness before reaching the bottom of the canyon, creating one of the tallest and most striking waterfalls in Africa. The Maletsunyan River flows narrow and silent until the moment of the fall, as if being guided toward an inevitable leap. During the rainy season, the volume of water increases, and the impact creates a constant mist rising from the depths of the gorge. This mist forms its own microclimate, where the sound of the water echoes off the stone walls, and the air remains humid, even amid the surrounding dry mountainous landscape. The force of the fall is so intense that the bottom of the canyon is rarely visible in its entirety. According to an ancient local legend, the spirit of a former chief inhabits the depths of the falls. They say he protects the valley and guides the waters in their eternal descent. That is why Maletsunyane is not seen merely as a waterfall, but as a place where water carries memory, strength, and respect. A point where the mountain releases its energy into the world. The Church of Yemrahana Christos, located in Ethiopia, is hidden inside a cave in the northern mountains of the country. Unlike churches carved downward, this one was built inward into the rock, protected by a natural stone wall that completely isolates it from the outside world. Seen from above, its location appears intentionally invisible, as if the place were chosen to remain outside of time. The structure was built in the 12th century, using alternating layers of stone and wood, a rare technique that ensures stability without the use of modern mortar. The interior is supported by precisely fitted beams, and natural light enters only in a limited way, creating a quiet and contained atmosphere. Behind the church, the cave extends even further, revealing a deep, damp space that reinforces a sense of absolute isolation. Inside this space, hundreds of human skeletons were found stacked in an orderly manner, with no clear records of formal burial. The presence of these remains has never been fully explained, but they are believed to be linked to ancient religious rituals or monastic funerary practices. In Yemrahana Christos, stone, faith, and mystery remain united, preserved in the same state for centuries. Lake Retba, known worldwide as Pink Lake, is located near the city of Dakar, Senegal. Seen from above, its waters display shades ranging from pale pink to deep red, creating a striking contrast with the light-colored ground and the open skies of West Africa. This unique coloration is not the result of pollution or artificial minerals, but of a rare natural phenomenon. The color of the lake is caused by halophilic microorganisms that produce pigments when exposed to high salt concentrations and intense sunlight. At certain times, Retba's salinity becomes so high that it allows people to float easily on the surface. The lake has no natural outlet, and constant evaporation intensifies its colors, causing the landscape to change throughout the day. Around the lake, manual salt extraction has taken place for generations, following simple and repetitive methods. Men and women enter the water, collect salt from the bottom, and form white mounds along the shores, creating a scene where color, labor, and nature coexist. At Lake Retba, the landscape is not static. It breathes, shifts in tone, and reveals one of the most unexpected expressions of water on the African continent. Nosy Iranja, located in Madagascar, emerges in the Indian Ocean as two small islands connected by a strip of white sand that appears and disappears with the tide. Seen from above, this pale line cuts through the deep blue of the sea like a delicate stroke, creating a landscape that feels temporary, almost imagined. The movement of the water reshapes the scene throughout the day, continuously transforming the island. The surrounding waters are shallow, crystal clear, and full of marine life, while tropical vegetation covers the higher parts of the islands in rich shades of green. There are no large buildings or urban noises, only the sound of the wind, the sea, and time moving slowly. In Nosi Iranja, nature sets the rhythm, and everything unfolds without haste. For the people of the region, the strip of sand is seen as a path offered by the ocean. They say it appears only for those who know how to wait, and disappears for those who try to cross it in haste. In Nosi Iranja, the sea does not divide, it connects, but only for brief moments, reminding us that beauty and balance are never permanent. The Simien Mountains, located in northern Ethiopia, form one of the most dramatic landscapes in all of Africa. Vertical cliffs, deep valleys, and jagged peaks create a terrain that seems to have been torn open by the earth itself. Seen from above, the region resembles a natural fortress, where time and erosion have sculpted one of the continent's most extreme mountain landscapes. Among these cliffs live the Gelada monkeys, a unique species found only in the Ethiopian highlands. Unlike other primates, they spend most of their time on the ground, feeding on grasses as they move in large groups. On the steep slopes also lives the rare Ethiopian ibex, the Walia ibex, with its long, curved horns perfectly adapted to the rocky walls. Geographic isolation allowed the emergence of a rare ecosystem where life learned to defy altitude and emptiness. According to ancient local beliefs, the animals of the Simien Mountains are guardians of the highlands, sent to watch over the boundaries between sky and earth. They say that as long as the Geladas and the ibex continue to walk freely along the cliffs, the mountains will remain in balance. Ait Ben Haddou, located in southern Morocco, rises along the banks of an ancient riverbed like a city of earth shaped by the desert. Built with adobe and reddish clay, its ensemble of towers, walls, and stacked houses forms one of the best preserved examples of a Ksar in North Africa. Seen from above, the village appears to emerge naturally from the landscape, as if it were an extension of the surrounding hills. For centuries, Ait Ben Haddou was a strategic point along the caravan routes that crossed the Sahara, connecting the interior of Africa to the cities of the Mediterranean. Its narrow corridors, steep stairways, and stacked constructions were designed for protection against invasions and extreme climate. Even without modern resources, the architecture remains strong, adapted to heat, wind, and time. According to local traditions, the Qasar was built in a place chosen for its protective energy. They say the earthen walls hold the voices of travelers who once rested there before crossing the desert. When the sun sets and the city takes on golden and red tones, many believe that Ait Ben Haddou is not abandoned, only silent, watching those who still pass through its gates. Sipi Falls, located in eastern Uganda, descends along the slopes of Mount Elgon in a harmonious sequence of waterfalls. Unlike a single monumental drop, Sipi reveals itself in layers, with water sliding over basalt cliffs before disappearing into dense vegetation. Seen from above, the water draws white lines that connect the mountains to the plains below. The surrounding environment is fertile and quiet, marked by cultivated fields, narrow trails, and a soft mist that forms in the early hours of the day. The altitude keeps the climate cooler, and the constant sound of water creates a deep sense of calm. At Sipi Falls, movement is never violent. The power of the landscape lies in continuity, not impact. According to local stories, Sipi Falls was seen as the dwelling place of spirits linked to rain and the fertility of the land. They say the water carries balance to those who respect the rhythm of the mountain and do not try to rush the path. That is why, at Sipi Falls, the water does not flow merely to fall. It flows to sustain the life around it. Luango National Park, located along the Atlantic coast of Gabon, is one of the rarest and most intact ecosystems in Africa. Here, the tropical rainforest meets the ocean without any barriers, creating a landscape where wild beaches, lagoons, wetlands, and coastal savannas coexist within a single continuous space. The absence of roads and human settlement keeps the scenery in an almost pristine state. The park is known worldwide for a unique phenomenon, Elephants, buffalo, and even lions walking directly along the beaches, leaving footprints in the sand beside the waves of the Atlantic. Hippos move through coastal lagoons, while crocodiles occupy channels between the forest and the sea. No other place on the African continent presents such a direct interaction between large terrestrial mammals and the ocean environment. In the waters near the coast, whales and dolphins can be seen along their migratory routes, while on land, leopards and primates move through dense vegetation. In Luango, there are no fences, artificial divisions, or visible control. Wildlife moves freely between forest, savanna, freshwater, and sea. It is one of the last places in Africa where ecosystems still function exactly as they were shaped by nature. Toubkal National Park, located in the high Atlas Mountains of Morocco, is home to some of the most impressive mountain landscapes in North Africa. The terrain is marked by rugged peaks, deep valleys, and arid slopes that change color with the light of the day. At the heart of the park rises Mount Toubkal, the highest point in North Africa, dominating the region with its massive presence. The altitude creates a harsh environment where the climate changes rapidly and vegetation adapts to cold, wind, and water scarcity. Ancient trails follow routes used for centuries by local communities, connecting isolated Berber villages to the higher reaches of the mountain. In winter, snow covers the peaks, while in summer the landscape reveals ochre and gray tones, giving the park an almost lunar appearance. For the Berber people, Toubkal has always been seen as a sacred mountain. They say its peaks act as pillars that hold up the sky, and that climbing the mountain is also a gesture of respect toward the earth. In the silence of high altitudes, the park preserves a sense of ancient balance, where nature, time, and spirituality remain deeply connected. The Bazaruto Archipelago, located off the coast of Mozambique, is a chain of islands surrounded by the crystal-clear waters of the Indian Ocean. Seen from above, the landscape reveals pale dunes rising from turquoise-blue seas, scattered coral reefs, and shallow water channels that shift in color with the light and the tides. The scenery feels in constant transformation, as if the ocean were endlessly redrawing its own edges. The islands host one of the most well-preserved marine ecosystems in Africa, with living coral reefs, tropical fish, sea turtles, and dugongs, one of the rarest marine mammals on the planet. On land, coastal vegetation withstands the salty winds, while shifting dunes create a soft and silent landscape. There are no large cities or constant noise, only the sound of the sea and the wind. For local communities, Bazaruto has always been seen as a place of natural protection. They say the islands function as a shield against the open ocean, safeguarding lives, stories, and ancient fishing routes. At dusk, when the sea takes on golden hues and the sky reflects on calm waters, many believe that Bazaruto is not just an archipelago. It is a refuge shaped by the very rhythm of the ocean. South Luangwa National Park, located in eastern Zambia, is one of the most preserved and biologically active ecosystems in Africa. The park is organized around the Luangwa River, which changes dramatically throughout the year, creating a natural cycle of floods and droughts that determines every movement of wildlife. There is no artificial control over the landscape. Everything responds solely to the rhythm of the water. During the dry season, the river recedes, revealing vast stretches of cracked earth, isolated lagoons, and exposed riverbanks. It is during this period that large concentrations of animals gather. Hippos crowd into ever smaller pools, elephants travel long distances in search of water, and predators begin hunting in more open areas. The park transforms into a raw, direct, and intensely active landscape. During the rainy season, the landscape changes completely. The plains flood, vegetation is renewed, and animals disperse into areas that were previously inaccessible. South Luangwa is not a static park. It is a living system in constant adaptation. That is why it is considered the birthplace of walking safaris, where observation happens without vehicles, allowing a direct reading of the land, the tracks, and animal behavior in its most natural state. Harena Forest, located in southeastern Ethiopia, stretches along the slopes of the Bale Mountains as a dense and isolated forest within an otherwise predominantly dry region. Unlike other African forests, the moisture here does not come from large rivers, but from the constant condensation of the air, creating a permanently humid environment. The interior of the forest is defined by tall, moss-covered trees, thick vines, and a dense understory where light barely penetrates. Endemic species live within this natural isolation, adapted to a cold, humid, and silent environment. The forest changes with altitude, revealing different layers of vegetation that coexist within a relatively compact space. For local communities, Harena has always been seen as a territory of respect. They say the forest breathes on its own, and that not all paths allow passage. According to ancient beliefs, those who enter without first listening to the silence end up getting lost. Not for lack of trails, but for failing to understand the rhythm of the forest. In Harena, nature does not reveal itself. It observes. The Tsingy de Bemaraha, located in western Madagascar, is one of the most extreme geological landscapes on the planet. Formed by thousands of sharp limestone blades, the terrain creates a natural labyrinth of towers, deep fissures, and nearly invisible passageways. Seen from above, the area resembles a sea of jagged stone, where there are almost no flat surfaces to walk on. These formations emerged over millions of years as rainwater slowly dissolved the limestone, creating a sharp and highly unstable terrain. Access is extremely difficult, and large areas remain virtually untouched. Between the fissures, isolated forests survive, adapted to an environment where soil is scarce and light reaches the ground only in fragments. Despite its hostile appearance, the Tsingy is home to unique life. Species of lemurs, reptiles, and birds evolved in isolation within this inaccessible environment, finding refuge among the sharp rocks. For local communities, the Tsingy has always been seen as a forbidden and sacred place. They say the stones are ancient guardians, and that walking there demands respect, because the landscape was not made to be dominated, only observed. We've reached the end of this journey, but not the end of discovery. The Africa we've seen is not just a collection of extraordinary places. It is time, origin, resilience, and movement. Every mountain, every river, every forest, and every silence revealed something beyond the landscape itself, the strength of a continent that has never stopped existing in depth. If this journey touched you in any way, support this path. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and keep walking with us through stories that deserve to be seen, felt, and remembered. And maybe that's exactly where everything connects, because in the end, traveling this way reveals not only landscapes, but the true charms around the world, the ones that live out there, and also within us. From the fire pulsing beneath the earth to the waters that trace ancient paths, from cities carved into rock to living savannas, Everything here reminds us that the history of the world is not written only in books, but engraved in nature itself. Africa cannot be explained in a hurry. It must be felt. It must be listened to. It must be respected. The world is vast, ancient, and full of beauty, and our journey is only just beginning. And now, we bring today's journey to a close, carrying with us unforgettable memories. Until the next journey.